Now that the property market in England is open for business again, moving plans south of the border can get back on track. Demand from buyers has been right across the board and the country, with inquiries at estate agents and visitor numbers to the property portals almost at where they were before lockdown. And now that in-person viewings are back on the cards, there should be a gradual return to normal, albeit one of a different kind. The housing market is one of the most important sectors in the UK and the global economy, and in recognition of this, Parliament has eased restrictions for the estate agency industry in England ahead of other sectors. As of today, the Scottish Government is yet to follow suit, but we thought it would be timely to look at the wide range of restrictions and guidance that have been put in place around viewings and moving home in England to give you a flavour of how things might go in Scotland. Estate agents in England are now having to give all their clients and customers a picture of exactly how to prepare a property for in-person viewings, how the agents will themselves be carrying out all appointments, and how the moving process can move forward from this point. All of us here are keeping a close eye on how things pan out in England, and we're already making plans to ensure everyone's safety both at the office and when they're out on appointments, and for when we can open again. So estate agents in England can now visit sellers and landlords in their properties to advise on price, presentation and getting ready to move. They can also arrange for photographs to be taken, while energy assessors can inspect people's homes and issue energy performance certificates. Tradespeople once again are allowed to carry out any maintenance or cosmetic works. For all visits, everyone is required to practice social distancing measures. Homeowners are required to keep a minimum of 2 metres distance from any visitors, as well as ensuring that everyone entering their home immediately washes their hands. So when it comes to the viewing, how do we look at that? Well, virtual is obviously going to be first. Every viewer will be strongly encouraged to view properties virtually in the first instance, and only to visit in person once they feel they're likely to make an offer on that property. Virtual viewings can give home hunters a comprehensive impression of a property and can take many forms, from pre-recorded videos to individual tours, and even virtual open houses using Facebook Live. Agents are working with homeowners to figure out the best solution that fits their personal preferences and situation. So for in-person viewings, there are the restrictions, regulations and guidelines in England around physical viewings to ensure everybody's safety. So the first one is to reduce the risk of transmission. The owner must open all internal doors and turn on any necessary lighting before any viewing begins to minimise the need for estate agents and viewers to make contact with any surfaces. The government's advice is for owners to vacate their property or wait in the garden while viewings can take place, but if that's not possible, to observe social distancing. Everyone attending a viewing is required to wash their hands as soon as they enter the property, and owners must provide access to hand washing facilities and separate towels, preferably disposable ones. Although buyers are being encouraged to bring their own hand sanitizer, agents are advising owners to provide some at the property just in case someone forgets. All viewings must be by appointment only, and no open houses are permitted. So secondly, it's not yet a requirement to wear masks or gloves on viewings, but depending on the type of property, it may be necessary to do so. It's also possible that homeowners and viewers may wish to use masks. Many estate agents in England are choosing to wear masks on all appointments and are encouraging viewers to bring their own personal protection equipment. Again, in case someone forgets, agents are stocking up on PPE to have some on hand in case anyone who requires it at the viewing doesn't have any of their own. So the third thing, estate agents are required to limit the numbers of viewers entering a property at any one time to a maximum of 2 adults, both of whom should be from the same household. They are also permitted to be accompanied by their children if no other arrangements can be made. agents are asking a number of screening questions of anyone wishing to view a property in person to ensure that nobody displaying any of the symptoms of COVID-19 goes to a viewing. They are also checking for symptoms, high temperatures, dry coughs, upset tummies, etc. at the point of the meeting the people outside the home. It's not allowed for agents to drive people to appointments yet. Viewers are also being asked to avoid touching any surfaces as they walk round, and agents are working to maintain a 2-metre distance whenever possible. So the fourth thing. All surfaces and door handles are required to be wiped down after each viewing. For empty properties, the agents are taking care of everything. Where a property is tenanted or owner occupied, the responsibility is being dealt with viewing by viewing, depending on whether anyone living at the property is actually in attendance. So agreeing the sale. There are no restrictions around agreeing a sale on homes. Conveyancers are still working, albeit from home, and can begin collating all the paperwork in readiness for accepting an offer just as they normally would. Surveyors and valuers are now permitted to enter properties again, although a number of lenders in England will issue mortgage offers on some properties through desktop valuations using recent sales data. If a valuer does a visit to a property, their visit must be treated as though from a viewer, and the owner must ensure all internal doors are open, all necessary lighting is on, and all the areas of the property are accessible. In case a buyer wants to revisit a home to measure up for furniture and curtains, or if they wish to send a tradesperson to get estimates for works, all the measures in place for our in-person viewings have to be observed. That includes hand washing, minimised contacting with surfaces, keeping lantern or doors open, and practising social distancing. So for estate agents, we're all advising sellers to maintain whatever flexibility they can in their moving plans, in their mindset as well as their dates, and to ensure that the sales contracts are worded to allow for possible changes to the completion of the date after exchange of contract takes place. This will protect owners from being in breach of the contract in case of COVID-19 situation takes a turn for the worst and lockdown restrictions are tightened again, or if someone from their household or their chain falls ill with coronavirus. Sellers are being advised to book their removal companies as soon as they exchange contracts and to start gathering quotes while the conveyancing process is underway so they can lock in their removals team as soon as the completion is confirmed. So when moving day comes along, it's been recommended that much of the packing is done as early as possible and done by the seller and their household. If that's not possible, they're being advised to speak to different removal companies to explore other options, as different companies will have different policies. All belongings that won't be going into the boxes and will be handled by people outside the seller's household are being thoroughly cleaned. Despite the British custom of making the removals team continuous cups of tea, that's a no-no in England at the moment. But again, owners must provide the crew with hand washing facilities and towels, again preferably disposable ones, and hopefully recycled to avoid any ego guilt. The viewing procedure of social distancing and access must be followed, and all internal doors to be open before removal crews arrive, and keeping at a 2 metre distance apart from any of the removers where possible. Although it feels like there's a lot in here, when you break it down, most of the steps are fairly small and can make a huge difference in keeping everyone moving. There's no sign yet of when the Scottish property market may follow suit, but clearly all eyes will be on England to see whether opening up the property market provides a workable policy while keeping coronavirus in check. In the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns about marketing your property or moving home during this particular strange time, please pick up the phone or drop us a message. We're here to support you and help you in any way we can. Until next time, I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties TV.